Hey YouTube, it's Sean, Griffin RC Planes. Well, I'm just working in the shop this evening, and I'm going to mount the engine on my UPROAR, and then I'm going to connect the linkage from the servo that's going to operate the throttle, and get that operational, and then figure out a spot to put the battery to operate the electronics. So that's what I'm going to do this evening, and I figured I'd just show you guys a clip here and there on how the progress is going. And I just wanted to say, hey, hope everybody's having a good weekend. Hope everybody gets to go out and fly a little bit, and I guess that's all. So let's just see what we got going on in the shop tonight. Hang on.
All right, guys, I'm not going to bore you with all the drilling and stuff, but I'm going to put the engine on the UPROAR, and it goes sideways like so. And I'm going to try to get it back as far as I can with the muffler to clear and all that to help out with the center of gravity. The farther out, the bigger chance that we're going to put a bunch of weight in the tail. So I'm going to try to get that back as far as I can and drill a couple holes and tighten a few things up. And then we'll run this linkage rod from the servo I mounted last weekend up to the carburetor right here. And we'll get that whole mechanism operating. This engine my friend Steve sent me, it had some fuel line coming out of the back here on a barbed fitting, and he said that was for a Perry pump, and I don't know anything about those. So I unscrewed the barb fitting, and I found a little plug to go in there. I'll show you guys that before we mount it. So let's see here. So this barbed fitting and this little piece of fuel line was screwed into the back right there. And I just happened to find a screw that had the exact same threads and diameter, etc. And I'm just going to plug this hole with this little screw right here. Problem solved. Apparently this Perry pump is really good. It gives you some more RPMs, but I don't have that set up. So we're just going to go old school, how it's supposed to operate. So now I need to loosen up the mounts a little bit, just so I can spread them open and get the engine in there. They're not fully tightened up. Left them intentionally a little loose to be able to do this. So I'm going to get the muffler hanging on and make sure it's not going to hit, and I'll be right back. Putting the engine on, or the muffler on rather, and sliding it back as far as I can get it, where I can still access the holes to screw it into the mount. I can utilize the holes in the front of the mount here, and then I'll just have to drill the holes in the back. So I'm going to run a couple screws in and then get it squared up, and then I'll mark the holes that I need to do in the back. All right, got all 4 bolts in the engine, all 4 bolts on the firewall. They need to be snugged up, and then I need to get the engine aligned the way I want. I want it to go down and to its right just a little bit, so that the prop will be aiming down just a hair and to the right. So I'll probably snug it up right now, and then I'll look at it at another time to make the fine little adjustments, to get it the way I need. If the prop is facing down and to the right a little bit, that'll help with tracking, just from the natural rotation of the prop and which way it wants to counteract and the plane. If you look at some of your models, you'll notice that they're facing down and to the airplane's right. And I need to tighten all all the bolts going into the firewall, because they got the, I call them a bind nut, but it's the nut that countersinks into the wood as you tighten it. You know, there's no nut on the back side. See it right there? As you tighten it up, they get sucked into the wood. It's got little fingers that grip. So I need to suck all those in, get them in place, and then we'll get our linkage run from the carburetor back to the servo. Just kind of getting things square, and I'll have to do all that fine tuning in a minute. All right, linkage rod. So this servo right over here is the one we installed last time, and then we just got the motor in. Here is the linkage on the carburetor. Boom, boom. But the hole for the linkage rod is back there. Kind of really not much I can do about it, so I'm just gonna have to put a couple little creative bends in it, and then when it's coming towards the servo over here, it's gonna need another little bend. Let me show you why, because it's got these little channels where it's supposed to go through. All right, I'll show you these little homes that you see running the linkage rod right here. Inside here, there's these little cutouts in there. See the little oval? And there's one right here. So when you run them through those, when you get to about right here, that's where the tube is for the wing spar. And this rod has kind of got to go over it. So I've got to get a little creative. Let's see if I can show you where it's going to need to go over. That rod comes in and hits this tube about smack in the middle. So I'm going to have to bend it over the top or something. I'll let you know what I figure out. Making progress. Coming along. Slowly but surely. Then the muffler, and got to fine tune the servo travel for the throttle. Might need to put another little bend in this area just to keep a few things from rubbing, to twist the rod a little bit, maybe make a little bend in that area. There's a lot of tweaking. These kind of builds right here are not textbook by any means. You know, you get some directions with a good guesstimate, and then the rest you need to figure it out. And I call it fiddling. I enjoy it.
We're making progress. Baby steps, right? Well, hey, if you guys get anything out of my videos, give me a like and make sure that you're still subscribed. All that is the best way to support what I do. I'm just here to get back and to help you guys out the way I learned. I learned all from YouTube. I had to sometimes watch 500 videos just to figure out where a wire was plugged in. So I'm going to consolidate all that for you and give it to you guys in a couple videos. So like, share, and subscribe. And we're over the halfway point to the next jet giveaway. So thank you guys so much for that. So, all right, guys. Hey, until next time, you'll see me here. And watch a couple of these, or these, wherever they are. These. Adios, guys.